Hey everyone, thanks again for tuning into Sin's Workshop. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So, today we're going to be talking about Wind Daughter by Joanna Ruth Mayer. This is a companion novel to Echo North. Before I begin, I do want to say, no, you do not have to have read Echo North in order to enjoy this book. I haven't read Echo North, and this is the second companion novel I've read from Mayer, and I have to say, what she's really good at doing is including elements from the previous novel. Yes, she references it a lot. Beyond the Shadowed Earth. I also read that one. That was a companion novel as well. Not lost at all. She is very, very good at taking what was in the companion novels and using it to kind of wrap this book in, the world, the foundation. It's the foundation of the story, basically. But you're not lost when you're reading it. You don't be like, man, I really wish I had read this book before I read this. Not at all. And I think that that's really good, especially here. Echo North really does play a really good part in this narrative. But again, I'm not lost. She really does summarize she really summarizes Echo North in a very cohesive way that, one, doesn't dampen the plot, it only adds to it, and two, doesn't ruin the pacing, which I think is phenomenal. I love that. Especially nowadays when there's so many production setbacks due to COVID, publishing, paper shortage. It's becoming longer and longer between books. So when authors are able to bring in elements from the first book and, kind of remind readers, hey, this is what happened. This is important. Don't forget it. It makes me happy. Especially because I don't always read things when I want to read them. God knows I wanted to read this book 2 months ago and I didn't get a chance to do it. So, it is what it is. So I really love and appreciate when authors are able to do that. And Mayer does do that very successfully. She is able to capture the narrative. She's able to capture the tone, the atmosphere, and this hauntingly beautiful fairy tale. That's another thing I love about her writing. I've read 3 books by her. Into the Heartless Wood, Beyond the Shadowed Earth, and then this one. I think it's great when I read a book and I'm like, oh yeah, this is totally reminiscent of Hans Christian Andersen or Brothers Grimm. I love reminiscing of classic fairy tales because I love fairy tales. I always love fairy tales. If it's a fairy tale retelling, I'm probably gonna buy it. 2 things I'll always buy. 3 things. Anything with witches. Anything with dragons. And if it's a fairy tale retelling, you got me. Take my money. Leave me alone. But what I really love about her storytelling is it feels very unique. It feels really fresh as far as fairy tales go. All 3 of her books, and this one especially, it really does capture this kind of fairy tale element, fairy tale atmosphere, without feeling like anyone else's. It's just a fairy tale all on its own, completely unique, and I love that so much. I mean, honestly, reading this book, even though, you have the Winter Lord chasing Satu, cold reaches of the north wind, the world is literally unraveling around her, and she has to pull the pieces together, and she's being chased by the Winter Lord, and the scenes themselves are really frigid. You definitely see it, but honestly, the book itself, it felt like I was cocooned in a nice, cozy, warm blanket on a winter's night with a cup of coffee or tea, with a nice hot beverage. That is the vibe it gave me when I was reading it, and that's why I didn't want to put it down. You know, I was cocooned in this fairy tale world. I was cocooned in this universe, and I absolutely 100% loved it because it was fresh, it was unique, and it really did have such a warm tone, I guess, to it. I mean, again, reading it, I was submerged in the world. I was submerged in the storytelling. I really did feel like I was wrapped in a nice warm blanket, even despite all these cold scenes that are going on, and despite the Winter Lord just coming to get her. I mean, he's chasing her because he wants the power. He wants the power for himself. Everyone wants the power. The Wolf Queen, the Winter Lord, and Satu. But Satu needs it, you know, as the daughter of the North Wind. This was used to be her father's power and magic, but it's gone wild. And now because it's gone wild, one of the things he was able to do is time travel, you know. And yeah, the author herself has described this book as Frozen meets Raylo meets Doctor Who, and it's great. It's kind of great. Time travel, and the world is just unraveling. Everything is becoming non-existent. So she has to capture his magic at all the points where he has been, all the points that he has lived in, and wrap it within herself. But here's the thing about Satu, and I really do love this as far as her characterization goes. She is a really anxious person. She can't be around crowds of people. Like, even the thought of working for an apothecary just, like, sends her into a meltdown. And I get that. Like, I get that so much. I was able to connect with that 100%. I used to have really, really, really severe anxiety. I've, you know, accepted it as part of myself. I'm able to manage it now, but I definitely get it. And I like how the author managed or handle the topic of anxiety. What I also love about Satu is she doesn't just shed it. You don't just completely just shed something like that. It's a part of who you are. You have to learn to accept it. And that's what Satu does. She learns to accept it. She learns to kind of live with it. And she welcomes it as a part of herself, which means she's able to kind of handle herself a little bit better. Especially now that she has so many responsibilities. I mean, she's the new North Wind. That's who she is. She's immortal now. But she has to go on this journey to become this girl. And she doesn't just shed everything. She just becomes stronger, not despite it, but because of it, you know. And I really loved how Mayer was able to handle this topic of anxiety, because a lot of people, and I just finished reading this other book that didn't quite handle it the way I wanted it to. Don't worry, reviews coming up on that. You'll know which one. Didn't quite like how they handle anxiety. But I think here it's really formidable. It makes her a really strong and compelling character because she's going on this journey. She doesn't know how she's going to do it. She second guesses herself all the time, but she rises to the occasion. She handles her anxiety and she grows because of it, and she becomes a stronger, more independent person, I think. And she's always kind of been this strong, independent person. She just didn't believe in herself enough to really be and live as that person. I mean, ultimately, what more can I say? I love this book. I love the characterization. I love the adventure. I love the time travel aspect. You would think in a fantasy novel, maybe that wouldn't work, but it worked so well how Mayer structured it in the story. It's just a really fluid momentum story. It does have a lot of callbacks to Echo North, but again, the author, you know, she really does summarize those key points in from Echo North really well. Again, I have not read Echo North, and I was not lost when I was reading it. You're getting the gist of what happened in that book. You're getting the important aspects of it. That's all you can, I mean, that's all you can do. You don't have to have read Echo North to really appreciate this book. I mean, I think I want to read it now because, again, I'm a huge fan of her writing. You know, this is the third book of hers that I've read that I've absolutely loved. can't, I can't tell you how much I enjoyed it. I mean, I just want to read it again because it was comforting to me. Like I said, it was like a warm blanket on a winter's night. It was so absolutely perfect for me. So I have to give this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. Not quite 5. I do think I guess I'm gonna call it the Raylo aspect of it. I do think the Raylo aspect of it, I did like the development of it near the end, but from the early on, it seemed a little, I guess, off, because he's been watching her since she was a kid, but then you realize she's kind of been watching him since he was a kid. So by the end of it, I was just like, oh, this is cute. This is adorable. I want you guys to be together forever. But in the beginning, I was just like, this is a little weird. But that's just me. Ultimately, I really did love the book. I love the ending. I love the progression. I love the character development, the pacing, the atmosphere, the attention to detail. I could go on and on. I mean, I think Wind Daughter really was an exceptional novel. And I have to say, 100% you should read this book. So, if you're going to purchase this book, please remember to purchase it from your local bookseller or book retailer. The book is supposed to go on sale May 17th. Woo! On that note, I hope you all will have a great rest of your day. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Oh, and also don't forget to share it with all your book loving friends. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.